Last of Us 3 is not happening, right out of the mouth of the person that would know.
Damn.
Neil Druckmann says The Last of Us Part 3 will likely not happen. I guess the only thing I would say is don't bet on there being more of The Last of Us. This could be it.
Ooh.
So when we talked about all those weeks ago, that when he talked about him wanting to spend time with his daughter because she only has a few more years left.
Sure.
Which, theoretically is nice, but I mean,
we know why he said it.
For a few more years, you're gonna quit your career for the rest of days.
It's over.
For a few more years.
She's like, bitch, better have my money.
I don't know. Yeah, no, the fact is that we said it right back in the day when this was happening and that came out. It was clear that things were not looking great. And, I think he knew Faxes was getting canceled back then. I think he knew that Intergalactic was going to be, not a smash. I feel like he knew. I don't think you could not know, right? Like,
what do you mean? Like when they were gonna put out the trailer, or like after the reaction? That at what point do you think he figured this out?
I feel like a part of him knew that it probably was going to be a stretch for people to get behind. Like, unless you are blinded, right? Unless you literally are not paying attention to what's happening in the world, it's pretty easy to have known going in that Intergalactic was not going to be a fan, favorite.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
As a reveal.
He also probably knew that, like, it's PlayStation. We get a different, we get treated differently, right? So maybe he was banking a little bit on that. But yeah, it's all over the game. The many reasons why people would be reacting the way that they did, right? Not that they're good enough reasons or the right reasons, right? But with everything, if you look at the pattern of everything that's been taking place, it goes hand in hand.
Agreed. I mean, I do want, like, I want you guys to understand, and I think I have it here. Wait. I know some of you are saying to yourself, I'm so sad. There's gonna be no Last of Us 3. How could they do that to us? Sadness, right? I want to make sure that you are not you're not just left in the gutter, because as you can see, there is going to be more Last of Us. Okay. It's just another controller. Okay?
No.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. So no Last of Us 3, guys. No Last of Us 3. But you should definitely invest in a Last of Us limited edition, because we now know it's truly limited. There will be no more Last of Us after this moment. This is the last piece of Last of Us that you can buy for PlayStation.
How do you come out and say this when you're about to drop? This is wild to me.
Yeah.
And why would you release a controller of an IP? Like, make it make sense. You're not delivering games. What in the heck are you doing making controllers? Like, relax. You have plenty of those out. Start investing on software. And by the way, are we seeing things that they're making it seem like their faces are on the controller, but when it zooms out, they're not?
No. The faces represent.
Can you silence it?
The symbol?
No, there's no sound.
There is. I can
The
hear it.
symbol is representative
Can
of
you?
the face. Is that what you're saying?
I can't hear anything. I hear no
Yeah.
sound from this.
Yeah, I still hear it. And I don't know if it's like copyrighted, by the way, and that's another headache.
Oh,
Right?
okay. Well, let me get rid of it. I honestly, I had no idea.
I
I have
can't
no
hear it
sound.
either.
Yeah, there's no sound on my side.
Okay, so the symbol is representative of
Each person.
but like you got to be careful though. Like right here, I'm like, okay, are they on the controller? And then you zoom out and it's
Yeah,
not
they're not.
there. Like that would have maybe they should have made 3 different controllers and actually like put Joel on it, right? And Abby, like actually make it instead of a symbol, make it them instead. It would be a better looking controller.
I mean, but at this point, what a fucking mockery.
It is
To go
though. Like,
ahead.
how dare you put out a freaking controller of an IP that you know damn well these scalpers had hope for?
Like the fucking like the news broke that there's gonna be no Last of Us 3, and then they're like, "Yo, we got a controller though."
Listen, that's crazy. I do have to say there was a lot of potential to have a third game release though, because there is content that can be put out and made into a game, maybe even more than just one if they make a prequel. So that's wild, because you know damn well that it's PlayStation's fault that they can't go ahead and release these games and actually put their thoughts and ideas out there. If it weren't because they themselves are letting down their studios, I mean, they are capable studios. They are.
They were.
They were. I mean, if
See,
you
we
don't have the
we-
funds and the backing, how are you capable? Like, listen, I'm pretty sure that I can only imagine Intergalactic. And by the way, I do want to address this. I see in the chat that you were excited when they announced Intergalactic. So was I. I don't have the issues that people have out there with a female character shaving her head. I don't have a
I
problem.
mean,
with
excited
that.
might be
I was
reach, right? Maybe interested.
Yeah,
Because there was nothing shown.
But
that
what
like,
was shown
exciting. It was just
looked
like
good. It
I
did.
mean, if that's what it looks like,
Mhm.
right? Because it could just be CG,
Exactly.
right? The very end of it, honestly, the part that looked like gameplay actually made me less excited, because it looks like they're gonna go into like that Demon Souls, Dark Souls route,
Mhm.
which I'm kind of over that idea. So if that is in fact the way they're gonna go with it, then I'm actually not excited for it at all. If that's the case, like if that's what it turned out to be, I'm gonna be really swole that's it.
But you're not going to be flying. I think that there are a lot of corners being cut in order to go ahead and put out this game. That maybe if they had the funds and the support, they would be obviously able to deliver. So I think that going ahead and being kind of cut short with what you can go ahead and do because you're not supported in a way that you need to be by, PlayStation, in the way that Xbox is out here supporting their studios. You're limited. That's just point blank limited.
Yeah, and this is where it's actually from, because I know I showed Pirate Nation, and people might be like, "Oh, that's a fucking shit account." It's from Variety. They did a big interview with them about the show, and in there, they went ahead and they talked about this. So, Variety, the author of this, was saying, then there's the long whispered possibility of The Last of Us Part 3.
Mm-hmm.
And then, quote, "I was waiting for this question," Druckmann says, sighing. He sighed like, when I bring up the prospect of a third game. I guess the only thing I would say is don't bet on there being more of The Last of Us. This could be it.
This sounds, by the way, the fact that he cited and he knew that this question was coming, and he's saying kind of like, don't bet on it. It seems like, again, he himself is disappointed about the fact that he can't continue to do his work.
Facts.
Am I the only one who hears that there?
Well, I'm sure. Listen, there's no look. He 100% would have made a part 3. 100%. 100%. Why do you think they were making factions?
That's exactly what just came to mind. Like they were making factions too. They did make factions too. They just couldn't. Again, the game, they came out here saying we're still playing it. The game is so good. And again, the game is not out because PlayStation cannot support factions too. Not if they want to go ahead and continue and make Intergalactic or another game, any new IP. So this is on PlayStation, man, regardless of how you cut it.
Agreed.
It'll be
Agreed.
interesting to see what happens once he leaves, because he's going to. And then a few years later, does he decide, I'm making my own studio? Because then you know what it really was, right? This is very likely the, hey, I thought I was the one controlling what my studio is making. Who are you to come and tell me I can't make my game? Right? But this is all speculation, right? I'm just guessing. Somebody at that level generally has a little bit of an ego, and rightfully so, right? And so then you say, okay, wait, you're gonna come and tell me, the one that's making like the premier franchises, what I'm gonna do? Okay.
Yeah. Well, and supposedly they had that, right? Like in the past, it was like you do whatever you want.
Yeah. This is not the same Sony. As we keep
No.
saying, it's not the same PlayStation. This is not the same PlayStation. Things have changed quite a bit.
They have.
It's really not. I'm not.
This is not the
Speaking of
PlayStation that these
controllers,
developers signed up for. That they, oh, you got it. Let's go. Hold up.
Oh,
Hold up.
nice.
Let me zoom. Hold on. Let's
Is it
go.
And he got it in blue like a true pony butt.
Yeah, well, I love blue.
Ponies don't own blue.
Heartbeat.
Ponies are going to waste soon, bro.
Right?
So
Yeah.
that blue is no longer theirs.
That's
I don't know if
dope.
it
He
comes
does have
through,
three buttons
but
on it.
Yes.
yeah, it has green front facing and then the blue paddles.
That's dope. Looks real nice, man.
Yeah.
Enjoy.
And
That's dope.
I use my little
All right.
chat pad.
Does it fit there?
Yeah. That's the it just fits on.
Really? I still have mine somewhere.
See?
I think I assumed
There
it
you go.
didn't fit. Oh yeah, look at that. Shit.
Yep.
All right. So what do you guys think about this overall? Demo, we can start with you, man. Like where do you think, the fact that Last of Us is not happening? What does this mean for PlayStation? What does it mean for Naughty Dog? What does it mean for Intergalactic and its future and what's going to happen if that doesn't hit? Like, where are you kind of sitting with it?
Well, I mean, what can I say? It is what it is. Another game that is not going to come out, thanks to PlayStation. We are tired of seeing the same thing all over and over again. So this is just a habit. This is habit right now at this point, right? It kind of sucks because The Last of Us is a good series, right? And it has a great following, and people love to talk about this all over the internet, on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, anywhere. You hear people talking about The Last of Us. Well, Sony PlayStation fanboys, they love to post Last of Us gameplay, whatever you want to call it, anyways, and they love to just talk about it as one of the greatest games ever made, right? And a lot of people believe that, so I'm gonna respect it. So the fact that you are not getting a third one, it just goes to show that maybe the second one wasn't as successful, and also that the first faction wasn't as successful. Like that's one of the reasons why I believe that they didn't produce factions 2, is because the first one didn't hit the way they wanted it to an extent, and now they are low on funds, so they had to watch their pockets before they make another move with something as fragile as The Last of Us. Because let's keep it real, like I was saying earlier, if The Last of Us were to come during these times with all the controversies and everything that it has, being a novel and all, then that could even bring more damage to the franchise. Now, I love how you said that maybe Neil decides to go his own way and part ways with Sony and create his own studio. And look, it's up for grabs And you know who's Real Madrid in this bitch? You know who's the New York Yankees in this bitch who gets the best players all the times? And that's Xbox, you know. And not only Xbox, we got other players like Tencent, um, you know, and so on and so forth. But for the most part, I believe that this is actually bad for PlayStation because I mean, The Last of Us, come on, part three, not even being like considered, or maybe not even like part three, but what about a prequel? Or you know how everything started, or maybe a spin-off or something The Last of Us, because I mean we get blasted, you know, by everybody because Halo, you know, they won, like, even though Halo Infinite came out not too long ago, I mean 5 years ago, but whatever, it's still ongoing, it still has seasons and everything. They still want, you know, Halo to go on. So the same thing goes for something like The Last of Us. I think they should be working on it. I think they should be looking to produce more of these games because it's definitely like a good franchise for them. They don't even have that many, to be honest. So I mean, them losing the potential of another Last of Us games that could be extremely huge for Sony PlayStation fanboys, for Sony PlayStation fans, for lovers of the franchise. I mean, it's a missed opportunity. That's the way I see it. I feel like they could have handled this better. This is nothing but, you know, bad management by Sony PlayStation. I feel like they really fumbled the bag with this one. There's no other way to, you know, because The Last of Us 3, regardless of what people talk about it was going to sell. Like, for sure. That was for sure. That's like making another God of War 3 or whatever the hell they want to call it now. They make another one, and people for sure are going to be right there.
I mean, it would sell, but it was still. I think it would sell less. I think they're
Yeah,
on. The problem is they're on a slide. Like their trajectory is downwards, which sucks. But it's still. It would still sell more than Astrobot. You know what I'm saying?
No, most definitely. I feel like Sony PlayStation, they're really wasting their time. You know, finding, because I believe that the word on the street is that Xbox doesn't have a personality, or doesn't have like a, you know, like a yeah, what is it, like what they call it, is it personality or identity? Right. Yeah,
Get out of here.
they love to say that Xbox doesn't have an identity, but the question is, Sony PlayStation, what is your identity? The whole identity of Sony PlayStation revolve around the exclusives, and they don't even have that. At least Xbox, without exclusives, give me better prices, right? They don't give you exclusives, but they give you better prices. Like, well, now, like, what? I don't know. Tell me why would I, why in the hell would I go and buy a Sony PlayStation in this day and age, right? There's really no real reason, because I mean, there's no exclusive, and the prices that they have in the store aren't good. They are even being sued by, posting higher prices on the store because of how, anti-consumer they are, with their own people, which is like, funny, to say the least. So yeah, my opinion is this is a big fumble by Sony PlayStation. I feel like they should work on the IPs that they know that are gonna sell. And I'm saying this without, hating on nothing. I'm just saying it because I believe that they should give their fans what they want, like Bloodborne. They, like, people are asking for Bloodborne on PC all over the place. Why in the hell you don't give it to them? They're asking for factions. You put it on ice or whatever. You know what? Bring it out. Bring it out. Like what? Like as an artist, you got a song that you perform, and people are like the crowd in your concert are like, please give me this song, and you go ahead and perform some other bullshit song that nobody wants. Like, come on, bro, give people what they want. And that's my issue with Sony PlayStation. Also, like, their prices, bro. It's like what really breaks my balls is the Sony PlayStation prices. And that's the truth, bro. It's just the prices of the games are ridiculously expensive over there. And that's that. Like, that to me is bad because I'm a working man, hardworking man. I just got out of here, like, running from work. I have a kid now that I had to pay daycare for. Is actually like a lot of money, like $150 a week. So imagine me spending $70 on some bullshit game that I'm not even gonna finish because it's not even that good. So, I mean,
Cool.
it doesn't work for me. It might work for others. I mean, good for you if you got the money like that. I ain't tripping if you got it. But the reality is that the majority of people are in my situation, hardworking person that comes from work. It's busy, have all this shit to do with their family and all this shit to do at work with their careers. And then they get home and they just want a game. You don't need to like break an arm and a leg and a kidney just to buy a game and play a game, a brand new game. Well, Game Pass and Xbox are giving me the option. Not only that, all the places like GOG, CD Keys, Epic. I mean, the list goes on places that you can buy games cheaper. So I mean, some people will love the quality. Yeah, I like the expensive shit, but for the most part, people want to save their money. It's just a freaking fact. And call me bro, call me whatever the hell you want, but that's just a reality, man. And the times that we're living on.
So do you think if Druckmann goes, then
Somebody's gonna get him. Somebody, EA, Ubisoft, anywhere, anybody can get it. Xbox could be all over. And that's the thing that Xbox is doing right now. They're acquiring studios, of course, but they're also acquiring talent. I mean, we cover here week after week. Somebody new working for Xbox. Somebody, this dude who was the one who's working on Halo now. They have gone away and they always come back and whatever. Like they always like. Because this is like a football team. You're always going to look for like the players, somebody who direct you, the managers who can direct or give guidance to your projects so they can do good on the long run. So that's just the way I see it. This is bad news. Ponies, like this gotta suck for you because I mean this is something that is almost guaranteed that you had. The Last of Us 3, yeah, it's happening. Yeah, it's almost guaranteed. And look, it is what it is. It happened because you never spoke. You never asked for what you wanted. You continue to give them money left to right, and you don't care, and you continue to champion Sony PlayStation and call Sony PlayStation the superior machine. Like the name has a lot of weight, so they don't have to do much, and all these narratives that you guys run with, and this is what you got. This is the result. This is the outcome of you like licking the toes and and everything.
Oh
bro.
shit.
Yeah.
That's rough. That's a rough one. Real quick, we do have our boy Dan Lazar in the building with that $2 super chat
Yo,
saying,
Dan, what's good?
lazy, uninspired art on everything. Lazy. They do have some pretty trash controllers. Like I don't know what they can do to stop that. I don't know who they need to talk about firing some people. They need to fire these motherfuckers. Whoever's designing this shit, they ain't much of a designer. Baby, did you want this controller?
This one, no. I thought like they had the characters on it. The way that they had it coming out, that idea could have been cool. A symbol representing and splitting it into three. I think they should have. If they were gonna go all in.
Yeah,
right?
It might have been
Stop
dope with the face.
half-assing the situations. These are controllers. If you're gonna do it freaking right. Then, like, you can't handle the games. Go ahead and go all out on the design for a freaking controller. I don't need you showing me Joel behind the freaking symbol because, hey, just remember this is Joel. This is what this means. No, put his ass on the damn controller. That would have been fire.
Yeah, I think it would have been dope. Like if on the handle, it would have been like the big face, right? But 3 different ones. You know what I'm saying? So you could have had one with like one side had a face, maybe like Ellie. The other side, like another controller could have had the other side with Abby, and like a third controller could have like Joel in the middle up top, big or something like that. Like that would have been dope.
Or like just take the damn freaking lines off. Like go ahead and find a way to make a smooth one just for special controllers, right? Stop recycling the same crap. It's frustrating.
It is.
They want people to invest. They don't invest in anything they do officially. Like really go ahead and artistically invest in it, and then maybe people will respond to your crap.
100% agreed. And to be clear, like this is Like the fact that Last of Us 3, I'm upset because I want a Last of Us 3. Like that is what I was hoping it would have been revealed when they revealed Intergalactic. Okay. And I was hyped. You know what I'm saying? I was hyped when they first dropped it. And I was like, all right, this looks pretty dope. But like man, just as the more you see it and the more you look at that last clip and the more you hear about the game, it's so mother effing like tiring that it seems like they're going the same route as like these Dark Souls and shit like that for their new game. You know what I'm saying? Like they could have given us Intergalactic and made it another type of game like this, story driven, just their story and just focusing on that, and none of that boss combat bullshit, but instead just a story of playing the game and overcoming some normal shit, even though it's in space, something. But the fact that they're going ahead and fucking doing this same bullshit.
They continue to chase the trends, right? There are a lot of Souls games out there, and they figure this will potentially take, which is funny because we've been saying they're making a lot of these freaking games, and it's like, okay, when are we gonna hit the stop button? Like pump the brakes a bit.
Like I feel like they're so behind everything. You know what I'm saying? Like when Souls games were hot, they didn't have a game to drop, right? So they're like, all right, well, I could imagine they were forced to shift it. That's why Neil is out.
That's possible. Do you remember? I think it was Gummy Bear that was going to have like a safe room where you can talk about.
Oh my God.
That's PlayStation, you guys.
That's wild. That's PlayStation. That's a wild.
Yeah.
PlayStation.
Let's make it less safe for the little youngins that may want to be playing these games, and let's have a chatting room where we share our feelings and how
about our identities. Let's have a room where we discuss our identities.
This is what you want.
Wild. Yeah, agreed. So no, for sure. And thank you, baby, for clarifying about this intergalactic situation. But that was a I don't know. I'm not feeling it. They stay behind. So I do want to get Hargeet's bars, but I did just see something that's wild. Our boy, motherfucking Mash in the building.
Yo,
let's
freaking go.
20 all boy for game remembrances. Goddamn,
Mash, bro,
my dude.
Thank you so much.
Wow, that's wild, man. Thank you so much, bro. Y'all know what to do.
Tell them, baby.
What the motherfucking welcome to the family emoji in the chat. Welcome our newest members, man. We appreciate each and every one of y'all for rocking out. And of course, our brother, my boy, Mash. Thank you so much.
Thank you, bro.
Much appreciated, homie. All right, let me see. Who got it? This is a lot. So let's see. You got Masshole. You got Fuzzy Tomato.
Okay.
You got Brarius or Briarius. Remember we had that whole discussion for a while ago? I think it's Brarius. I'm gonna go Brarius. Isaac Hayes 85. You got Michael Guzman. You got Marcus Hobdy. You got Blue Moon FC. You got Terrence Harris. You got Jagger Blaze Alex. Drumline Roller. Tony Miller. Evan Huff. Parksy 1972. RJ The Truth Lies. Texas Blood. DC. Anthony Roberts. And Shrek plus Mike Wazowski. Back from the Dead 1. Talking with Bob. All right, I think that was it. That was 20.
Yo, welcome you guys. And Mash,
man. Appreciate y'all.
Thank you so much.
Mash, super dope of you, man. Much appreciated, my brother. Thank you so much. All right. So go ahead, my boy Hargeet. Let us know. What do you think about this, man? What do you think about The Last of Us Part 3? All this whole situation with them, and what does it mean? What do you think? Give us some bars on that. But then, like, what do you think that means for the future of Sony? Because I mean, you honestly, if it's not now, you would assume that Last of Us 3 would be in the pipeline. You know what I'm saying? As maybe a next gen, PlayStation game. But like Neil's like, and he didn't. All right, let me also say this, and I know I'm kind of messing with what you're about to say, but like he also didn't say it like with that sigh. He didn't say it like, oh yeah, but we got something else. You know what I'm saying? Like it was more like, yeah, it's not happening.
Nah, dog, times are rough.
You know what I'm saying? All right, go ahead. What do you think?
There's several. Look, they also have Uncharted, right? And it could be that they're going to visit that next, right? So they have Intergalactic. It's probably going to be several years out before that comes out. And then maybe Uncharted, and that's probably another 5-6 years. So you're looking at like the next decade is these two games, right? And then who knows what? And as we know, Neil, he's kind of like, hey, I'm going to take a hiatus here. So there's another HBO series that had this same problem of the ending, and that was Game of Thrones, where the author still hasn't finished the last 2 books, and they had to kind of finish the series, right? So they kind of came up with whatever they could and kind of put it out there. That might be the way you get the story for Last of Us. Is the new series like the new season coming out like now? Is that why maybe the controller's coming out? Is that what's happening? I don't know if that's the case or not.
I don't know how close it is. I think it is coming out relatively soon. I think it was announced at that CES thing. So
that might be why the controller, right? It's to tie in with that.
Actually, somebody brought up a good point that controller might be the factions controller that they had planned to release with factions,
and they just went ahead and released it.
And that's why there's 3 different logos, right? So they were probably breaking it up into different factions.
Into the different factions.
Okay. Okay. That makes sense.
I mean, very likely that's a possibility as well, right? But I think that's unfortunate, and it's just sort of a reality. And kind of in what I've been saying for years now is that games take way too long to make, and at some point there's just realities of how much can you make. Right, it's the same thing with Todd Howard. How long is he going to be around? How many more games are we going to get from him? Right, you have Elder Scrolls in the pipeline. You have Fallout after that. Is there going to be a Starfield 2? I don't know. It's just that many years out, right? And he's getting older and older, and this is just reality of life, right? And Neil's got to be looking at the same thing, saying, well, look, even if I'm in for the beginning of the next, I'll create the story for the next, Uncharted, and I'm out, right? And then that's it, because Last of Us is going to be so many years out. It's done from here, right? Now, does that mean it's over? Look, like anybody, like, if you have good IP and you know what to do with it, you would, take advantage of it and say, let's go ahead and continue that. My problem with that theory is Sony or PlayStation is kind of notorious for just letting go. They have so much in their back catalog that they just don't do anything with, right? And you're like, okay, is that what's going to happen here? It probably is, right? If it's, like Xbox side, Fable was sitting around. They're like, you know what? Maybe we can have one of our studios out there take a stab at it. Let's see if somebody has an idea. And, it seemed to work. Playground is making the game, right? That's great, right? So we get Fable again. I don't know that they do that here, right? Because PlayStation has kind of limited their output, and they really haven't visited their back catalog. They have so much IP that they have just put on the shelf and just left it alone. Like, well, is that what's going to happen here? And that might be what Neil's thinking is like, if I don't push for it, it's probably dead, right? So you might get the ending of this story in the television series, and that will be the end of it. And so that's what I'm guessing. That's what he's thinking.
Nathan, fucking Hargeet, the last of it. I started thinking about Uncharted. It's like Nathan. I was about to call you Nathan Drake, yo.
Right. So that may be what happens, right? The next game after Intergalactic is probably an Uncharted story, whatever that is, and maybe Neil is there to kind of start out the story more of that, and like, here's what the storyline is going to be, right? And then you guys can flesh out the dialogue and make it happen, right?
You think so? You think that they are clearly taking Intergalactic as their big bet, right? It's obviously a large investment.
I don't know how they don't at this point. I think they've put too much into it. And you think that they're
still willing to, like, I'm honestly of the mind, and I don't know how far out in, like, out of possibility land you may think this is, but I really am of the mind that there are not a lot of shots to take. I really don't feel like I don't think Sony is looking at these studios like, all right, here's your next one, and make sure you got the next one lined up right now.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? I really feel like this is first of all, it's a brand new IP. They don't make an IP with the hopes of it just being a one-off, right? Naughty Dog has done all franchises. Everything that they've done has been a franchise.
So you think maybe they'll be an Intergalactic 2 right afterwards?
I mean, I think that would be the idea, right? If they cancel Factions and they canceled the idea of Last of Us 3, because again, he sighed. So that was not a that was a I tried talking to him about a 3, but they didn't want to do it type deal.
Yeah,
or
I think that's
we
what
were
it is.
working
I
on
think
3 and they canceled it.
Yeah, I think they put it on the shelf, and I don't know what happens, right? Because like if it was PlayStation of old, I think they would try to continue to do things, right? This is just not that PlayStation. I don't know if that changes. It's market dynamics at this point because of where they kind of are. Pretty much around the world, they are a monopoly. And then you have the US market where it's still somewhat competitive with Xbox. And if the rest of the world, they kind of have that, they don't have to acquire you. They don't have to waste money. And like these games, the Naughty Dog games cost a lot of money. And they're going to sit there and say, why waste this kind of investment when we don't have to, right? If we put in half the investment, can we get enough of a return? Is that good enough? And Neil might be saying, like, what? Go F off. I'm going to spend, I want to make the kind of game I want to, and this is not the world they're in, right? This is not like, you know, the Xbox world where like, go ahead,
the
right?
creativity
Hey, Starfield
part of it is
it's not ready yet. We think it's not ready yet. You guys think it is. No. Take the time. Go ahead. We'll spend more money. No problem. Go ahead. Right? This is not the same world, right? So I don't know. I think they're in a like this is where Money Man comes in and starts saying, you guys don't know how to make make money out of your games. That's literally what Hiroki Totoki said, right? And so like if you go in and say that, well, what's the result going to be? Tighten your budgets. Make sure you sell enough copies, right? Make more remasters. That's what they keep doing.
Facts. Kept hearing about it.
This isn't. It's unfortunately this is kind of where PlayStation is, right? It's the warning that we've been throwing out this whole time. Hey, this is where you guys are going. This is where you guys are going. PlayStation guys, you need to worry about this. You need to worry about this because you're not going to get games. This is what's going to happen. But hey, you know, if they're okay with it, then this is what's going to happen. And this is why I think this is all good from a competition perspective. Why? Because they're digging their own grave. Xbox is going to come up with, it's kind of been substantiated now, new next-gen stuff next year. And with it, a launch lineup that is going to be so incredibly impressive that there's got to be some level of enthusiasm gap that says, my PlayStation 5 sits here and does nothing for me. I've got that side showing me game after 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 game, and I want to play like 10 of these, right? Why wouldn't I go buy it, right? And I think that's where they're kind of pushing right now. You'll like see like the hardware levels are dropping off as far as what they're putting out in the market because they keep losing money. They're like, I don't think I want to do this. And like Demo, you were mentioning, get ready for the price increase, right? When the new hardware comes, you're not getting a discount, guys. So I think that's what they're looking to do. They're going to get to the next gen and say, here you go. Here's cost. That's what it is. But you get all these games and you get Game Pass. Come over to our side and you will be fed constantly. Or you can stay on PlayStation, get a drib and drab here and there. You might get a game once a year, whether you like that game or not, right? Ghost of Yotei might be great. Astro might be great. How many copies is it selling? Are you like enthusiastic about something, right? Where's the killer showcase where you're like, damn, that's why I need to be on PlayStation? Do they have one of those? Like that's what's going to keep happening. And that, we lost Doodle. It looks like.
Welcome everybody to the Hard Key and Demo Flow Gaming Show.
That's funny.
Getting Doodle back on. Either way. So
yeah, it popped out.
We kicked it out. Don't let it back in. Doodle, you're not allowed.
You wish, right. Demo. You wish.
I just do that. Oh shit! I'm
sorry. You can't get rid of me.
Yeah, because the audio comes through CMoney's side.
That's right.
But yes, but either way, so I think that's kind of what's happening here, unfortunately, right? So does that bode well for the other studios? I don't know. We will see. Insomniac has become Marvel Studio, and like we saw what Wolverine looks like. Maybe it'll be good. I don't know, but like so far it hasn't impressed. We have not even seen the release date for that.
We're good. No,
We're
just let
good?
him mute. All good.
Okay. So anyway, so yeah, this is unfortunately kind of where they are. We got, was it Saros? Was that the game that they showed?
Yep.
Do you think that's going to be a 10 million copy seller? I don't think it is.
I think everybody already
Is that-
forgot about it.
Yeah, is that going to be a big system, mover? Again, I don't think it is. So like, this is what you've got, PlayStation folks. This is, you basically look forward to our games. That's really it. The Xbox games are what you're looking forward to. It's just a fact. It's what you want to play is the stuff that is releasing on Xbox. At some point, you just got to ask yourself, why you on PlayStation then? Right? You can get all this, you can rent the console, but you can pay for Game Pass and you have everything. It's just like, why not just do that? It just, whatever. At some point, the value just kind of is there. And if you just look at it and you say, from a customer perspective, me as a consumer, what am I getting from that platform? I think this is where Sony is going to be in trouble. If Nintendo brings it, then they got to start competing at some point, right? You can't just keep doing this. So if Nintendo brings it, Xbox is already bringing it. If that next gen hardware is going to differentiate itself from Xbox, like, watch out. Like, it's going to be very interesting to see what happens next. It's going to be very interesting to see what happens next. Rest on your laurels, and eventually you will get caught, right? This is kind of the way it is. You have to compete at some point, right? They don't want to. At this point, they don't care because they just want to rake in the money. I wouldn't blame them. I don't blame them. Why waste money when you can just make profits, right? If
That's
customers are coming to you anyway,
it's the worst part
that's the
of
way
their
it
business.
is.
The worst part of their business is the first party, though. That's
Yeah.
where
It
they
is what it
fucking-
is.
They don't have a big presence there where they're bringing all this cash and it's like, yo, we're fucking killing it with this first party. It's like, no, it's they take so long. All they see is red on their internal because they just see how when it comes to their first party, because it's all just out, money out. Nothing's coming in, and it's like crazy amounts of money, bro. Like Microsoft has been able to make fucking bangers while not spending through the roof. It seems it's almost as if talent trumps the cash. You know what I'm saying?
And they have so much in the pipeline that it's hard to keep track of. They have their own first party studios and all these second party deals. Remember, like, was it 100 studios or something like that?
Yep.
Right. They have that game. They have like the Wu-Tang Clan game. Like, there's all this stuff we haven't even heard about. There's so much in the pipeline outside of their own studios, which we haven't heard all the games about, right? There's still stuff that we haven't heard about. First party coming out this year, we still haven't heard about, right? This is just where Xbox is. It's crazy. So there's going to be an enthusiasm gap at some point, right? And if that launch lineup, new hardware, new gen, Call of Duty with all its features being maxed out on new gen Xbox, like, there's just going to be this thing where it's like the level of excitement is going to flip. And then what do you do? How do you match that? Now, what will happen in the rest of the world? I don't know. I know over here it could very well flip, and Xbox could be the leader in the US, but I don't know what happens in the rest of the world. It's very hard for them to breach that. I'm not sure what they can do to make that happen, but that's something they need to like figure out. It's a tough sell, I understand, but it's something they need to go figure out. But again, games is why people play. That's it. It's just games. The more games you keep showing, the more it's going to be like, well, why am I not over there when all the games are over there? It's just it. And it's a question that people are going to have to ask themselves as the next gens come in. Right.
I mean,
so
we talked about this a little bit on I think on Tuesday's show. It's like, that's true. The problem is that the number of those people is so small because you're really only talking about the core who are going to even notice. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're not talking about, the vast majority of people who own a PlayStation really don't give a fuck. They don't even know who make these games. You know what I'm saying? Like, when they see Forza, the vast majority of those people don't know it's an Xbox game. And even if it says Xbox Game Studio, they wouldn't even know that that's the other console. You know what I'm saying? Like, to them, it's a nothing
doesn't
burger,
register. Yeah,
right?
sometimes.
So like even that's why Xbox is doing this, because even flooding it with other games, they know these people are not coming over. They don't care. They're just all Xbox wants is them to buy the game because there is no other way for them to do it. Yo, seeing Forza #1 in all these countries that Xbox games would never be #1 in, you know what I'm saying? Are crazy, yo.
Yeah, it is. It is. Shout out to Colin Prime.
No, don't take that. I was gonna do it.
Oh,
I had it fucking
go
lined
ahead.
up here.
Go ahead.
You can't do it yourself. I'm
Go
doing
ahead.
it.
I
had it
listen.
fucking ready to
I
go.
saw it, and listen, dropping
No,
bars.
don't say that until after.
Go ahead.
Damn it, Doodle.
Go ahead.
Ruined it. I had a whole thing planned and everything.
Go ahead.
You had a plan?
Pardon me.
Yeah, it's ruined. Now we gotta let it. You gotta give it a little time now.
No, go
Okay?
ahead.
Give it a couple.
I'm ready to
seconds.
address it.
All right. So I had a whole thing
So,
set up, and now
Listen,
threw me off, dude.
It's go ahead, do your
No, I
thing.
can't. It's gonna just sound
All right,
random.
go back around.
All right, listen. Go ahead. Continue, Hargeet. Let it.
Yeah. So anyway, so as far as PlayStation, look, first, they're still in a great position brand wise. People still recognize them. They're still selling consoles. Yeah, and they will continue to sell games in their PlayStation store, right? That's great for them. They'll keep making revenue. The hits they take on making their own games, they're gonna lessen that. That's what's gonna happen. It's just the way it is. And so they're going to look for more profit. And there's no reason for them to invest $300 million to make the next Last of Us. That's probably where this is. Okay. And so you're just going to keep seeing more of this. Those nice cinematic adventure games, you're probably going to get one every 4 years, something like that. Okay. That's just how this is going to go now. You're going to have to, slow down on getting those, but you'll get them every now and then.
But
You'll get more sorrows.
Next gen is going to cost them. Like, imagine what next gen will cost. Like, what next gen will cost Naughty Dog. You know what I'm saying? For them to do what they would want to do,
to tailor it to the next gen hardware, right?
To make it next gen hardware, to push it, right, to the next level graphically, right? Because they're the only. To be fair, all these people that we've talked about, whether it's the new God of War that came out that let us down, right? Where it's like, oh God, it looks like a PlayStation 4, even though it released on PlayStation 4. It's like, that wasn't a next-gen game, right? The Spider-Man 2 might as well have just been on PlayStation 4 because it doesn't look like a next-gen game. To be fair, Naughty Dog hasn't released shit that was new outside of just remasters.
That's right.
So we haven't really seen them take a swing at this
even
gen
a PS5
at all.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
They haven't even took a swing. So this is this Intergalactic shit, which, if what we saw was what it looks like gameplay wise, like, right, like it's definitely a next gen looking game, right? It's not a last gen looking game, it's a next gen looking game. If what they showed us is accurately representing the way the game's going to look, even though I don't like how it's ultimately going to play, but this is just a PlayStation 5 game. When you go to PlayStation whatever the fuck, right, the next generation of whatever it was going to be,
PS6,
like, that the cost was going to go crazy for them to go into the detail that they would want to go into. And that's
like
where
what
it's
Sean Layden was saying, right? The prices keep escalating. There's no way to keep up. We just have to figure out a new way. There's just, what do you do? How do you make that work? It's going to eventually cave. That's where they are now.
Yeah, it's 100% true. It's 100% true. So it just would be too much money for Sony to want to risk. And that's what I think. Again, you kind of brought up the idea of Uncharted, right? For them to do an Uncharted that would be exciting, that would make people be like, oh my God, they will have to push to the absolutely next level, highest level, right? And dude, that's all for them. It literally equates dollars. Like, I don't understand. Like, Microsoft somehow can have a studio like Ninja Theory and make the best looking game ever known to mankind, okay, and spend like $80 million and call it a day. And then even Indiana Jones, right? Another one of them, so beautiful, right? Amazing game. I'm sure that they didn't spend hundreds of millions of dollars making Indiana Jones. Same thing with Avowed. Again, Obsidian's cooking 6 different games at any given time. I'm sure Avowed didn't cost them hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars. I just don't think so. So they're able to have teams produce at lower costs and still give amazing experiences. And for some reason, PlayStation just throws money at these studios, and it's like, I don't know who's driving what car and what house they living in. Like, I feel like Insomniac spent 315 or something like that million on Spider-Man 2. Where?
That's before marketing.
Where? Where, bro? Come on, man.
So it's a
Come on,
lot of
that's
the
crazy.
mocap. It's a lot of the acting. Right? That
But
costs money,
the acting is not
unfortunately.
great, right? When
It
you
doesn't
watch
matter. It
that,
still
it
costs,
doesn't look great. They
unfortunately.
need to do something. They need to do
But
replace
yeah,
them
so
all.
like this is kind of the look. Xbox also has the shield of Game Pass, right? They have
Exactly.
continuous recurring revenue that they can just use to make games. That's it. It's just that simple, right? They can make the the third party deals, but they bring in $5+ billion a year in Game Pass revenue, and so that gives them a nice shield to say, right, we can take 4 of that, cover our studio costs as much as we need to. And oh, by the way, we have Candy Crush just generating cash. We have Minecraft just generating cash. We have World of Warcraft generating cash. Call of Duty generating cash, right? We just black hole games that just keep making us money, right? And that can cover the rest. And so they just have the ability to do things that is just tougher to do for PlayStation without eating into their profits. They also took a ton of their cash and used it on acquiring studios to do these live service games, and the vast majority of it failed. So, look, they have 2 more big ones coming, Marathon, Fair Games. We'll see what happens there. Good luck. We haven't seen what Fair Games looks like. We've seen a little bit of Marathon, and apparently is going through some rejiggering to make it better, right? We'll see. We'll see what happens. Good luck to Bungie. Hopefully they can do something with it, but that's unfortunately where they are.
That could be given to them. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, man. Listen, that Marathon game was shown months ago at this point to creators. You don't show it to creators. Don't say, yeah, you could let them know that you saw this and then not bring shit out, not do anything with that. The creator's not allowed to talk about it. They were allowed to say, yeah, we went and played it. They couldn't give an impression. They couldn't say I liked it, didn't like it. They couldn't say shit, and they haven't. That's not good. That doesn't look good, right? That doesn't bode well.
Yeah, we'll see if they rejigger it and come back and there's something. It was supposed to come out this year. I don't think it is because I haven't heard a goddamn thing. Have you? I mean, I haven't heard a thing. So I don't see it coming out this year.
Oh no, man.
Because if it comes out, you would think it'd come out in the summertime, right? You certainly don't want to release it next to freaking GTA.
Is it
right?
Concord
That's a stupid
2.0?
idea.
You know what I'm saying?
I mean, it very well could be. It very well
dude, like
could
you,
be.
it's funny because we think about Concord as such a massive hit for them, right? Like, damn, 400 million gone. Yo, Bungie's the OG. 3 billies gone. What a waste of goddamn life that purchase was. All it did was cancel games, throw away.
I mean, they haven't
money.
Fully paid for Bungie yet, so
no, they still got that shit on later.
Yeah, I mean, between that and I think people tend to overlook what's invested in the games that have been canceled. Money has gone into that as well that they are not going to recuperate. So
yeah, it's an interesting time, right? So we will see how this pans out. It may mean nothing. Maybe PlayStation players are happy with whatever they have and they just get Xbox games, maybe a little later, and they're like, oh, that's good. We'll just play those games. Fair enough, right? That might be fine for them. But look, the downside, like from my perspective, I'm happy I sold my PlayStation because they don't have anything. They have nothing to even entice me, but they put their games on PC. Whenever anything of value comes out, I'll get it on PC.
Did you get rid of it when GameStop was doing that extra 50? What was it, extra 50 or something like that? They did for like a little bit.
Yeah, I got rid of it even before
he was
that.
selling. So you were selling an Xbox, right? Because you wanted to get the Galaxy.
Yes,
I was trying to do that, but then it went down. The Xbox right now has better trade-in value than the PlayStation, so I can get more for that right now if I wanted to trade it in as like $330 or something like that towards the Galaxy Edition. I haven't bothered yet.
So, how is that
possible? It was like at 385. That was awesome when it was at 385.
Yeah, it hit nice and high.
It did.
That was such a F up because it takes
could have gotten rid of it.
So much energy to like set up and take the time to get it done. It was though a miss because the trade-in went freaking down. Yeah, it was crazy.
Sorry, Demo, what were you saying?
Oh, I was saying that how is that even possible? That the trading value of the Xbox is greater that Sony PlayStation 5.
They're not making as much. Xbox is like cutting back on the hardware sales, and I think it's because they're ramping up on the next gen, and I don't think they're going to take a hit. So they still take a financial hit every time you buy an Xbox, right? With the Series S or X.
I mean,
right?
any
So
console, really.
well, no, PlayStation I think is now even, so they make money,
Correct.
or they're not spending money on you buying it, and Nintendo never does, right? They're always at profit. So I think Xbox is saying, why the hell should we keep taking a financial hit? We're already like losing this gen. What's the point? We're going to just take the hit. We're going to cut back on hardware sales and ramp up for next gen and sell that at, even or with profit, right? And that way they don't have to keep taking a financial hit on their bottom line every time they sell a console, right? So I think they're going to kind of play that game. It's about a year and a half, right? So it's like, fine, let's just take that hit. We'll have next gen hardware and we'll just do that, right? And that seems like a better option for their financial status. So because there's lower consoles available, but there is still demand, because like people are seeing the games and they're like, I don't want to play those games. Where's my Xbox? I want to buy the new Xbox. So the demand's there. And so there is like, at least last I checked on GameStop, I could get more for my Xbox than you could get for a PlayStation. But
yeah,
hey, whatever. So, but yeah, I still say get rid of your PlayStation. There's like nothing there. That's just what is the point?
It's
Game Pass is the thing.
It's taking up space, looking stupid. Just looks goofy, standing there like an asshole with nothing to play. Just like a dumb bitch. Like, what the fuck are you doing there? All right. Before I get my Doodle's take on this, and then we'll move on. Demo, there's a message for you. Okay, it's in the chat. All right, you ready? So I'm Cullen Prime, and he wants to let you know that Doodle is the most important part of the show.
Thank you, Colin Prime.
You can never, ever suggest
you would think
that Doodle doesn't want it.
you would think
Doodle
that
runs
he would
this bitch, Demo. Doodle runs this bitch. One click, we're
It's
all
my
off the show.
motherfucking
You know what I'm saying? She can run this bitch by herself. We're all gone. And then show
that
up
was
for
a really
her.
organic reaction. But I'm used to dudes feeling intimidated.
Oh my God,
Female
no.
presence.
No, she took it there now. She took it there
Tony
now.
Potts, Scallopers, they're all upset. So,
that's
oh my God.
Exposed.
Where is my?
I know, I know. I felt it.
Oh, by the way, CMoney.
You are fake news.
You are fake news.
Oh, by the way, I was gonna say, CMoney, check your DM. There is a new console in town. Yeah,
a new post. Oh, this picture over here. Let me put it.
Train station.
Nice.
You know what's funny?
What?
You guys know how much our daughter Purpleberry, how funny she is, because she puts stuff in Discord all the time. Sometimes we go after CMoney, and she heard Demo's name, and she said, "Is his name Demo because he never reached full potential? Because he's a demo."
Oh shit!
Now, when you put it when you put it that way, that's actually good. When you put it that way,
that was really good.
It made me feel some type of way. I'm about to tear it up in here. I'll be right back.
That's wild.
That was hilarious.
Yeah, that is wild.
It's true. It's true.
But makes sense though.
Yeah, rent station is definitely appropriate. It's definitely gonna be our next topic as well. But Doodle, before we switch to that, just your bars on the whole thing with Last of Us 3 not being, a thing, most likely canceled, probably early on, the way he sighed,
if that,
he felt a certain type of way, and what does this mean for PlayStation and their outlook on what they're doing with these franchises that they had, and if this is gone and Druckmann seems like he's out the door, what does that mean for Naughty Dog and to
I mean, I think that to to have talented people when you can't support their talent is meaningless. So for him to stick around where he can't put his art out and have it be supported and out there, and he's able to make the games freely that he wants to go ahead and make, it's pointless, right? At that point, why not just retire rather than to continue to go ahead and kind of conform into what Hiroki is trying to turn, PlayStation's first party lineup into, right? I think that he knew that this question was coming. It sounds, from my perspective, the citing and the way that he addressed the question, it seems like he's frustrated, right? It seems like he's not being, again, supported into doing what he wants to do. And I think that he's going to go ahead and kind of let it out through the show. And these studios that are left behind, they're better off not making anything, right? If you went from such a high to go ahead and now not be able to deliver what you want to do and show people what you've got, what for? What are you doing this for? You're gonna mess up your legacy, what you're known for. And Intergalactic is gonna fall short. Not just because of the way that people are receiving it, but also because I don't think that his vision is going to actually be a reality. He's not going to be able to deliver what he can deliver or what he has in mind.
Possible.
And this is very telling, not just for Naughty Dog, every other studio out there that is owned by PlayStation. In the consequences from all the decisions that they're making, it's not looking good. I think that they need to go ahead and get ready to go and find work somewhere else. The end is coming. It's that simple. The end is coming. But this is frustrating. I do feel like they had at least 2 more games with The Last of Us. I think that I was one of the people that playing Last of Us 2. What happened with Joel kind of turned me off. I was like, all right, I need either a break, and I never went back to it. I know you loved the story, the way it played out. We'll see during the show if I can make sense of it or if I'm gonna feel the same way. I'm not as attached to the characters in the show as I was with the game. So we'll see how it plays out. I don't know if I will revisit it, but it's over, right? It doesn't really matter.
It's over, and it's only half, which is the problem. You know what I'm saying? Like, if we were to do, like, let's say, for instance, we said let's redo that series where we played along with the show.
Yeah.
Like,
you don't know what they're gonna go ahead.
It's probably gonna end at the place where he gets Golden Knight. Yeah.
Because they're gonna try to separate the 2 stories, and then you're gonna go ahead and do you play as Abby?
Well, back and forth.
Yeah. So we'll see. Maybe they'll separate the 2 instead of going back and forth, and just kind of like, I don't know how they're gonna work that out for the show.
Yeah. I don't know. It sucks because I like The Last of Us 2, but like even the PC port is not like a big upgrade. You know what I'm saying? It's not like oh man, look at how good they made it look. It's like, god damn. It's nothing. It's just a wasted life. All right. Well, I mean, look, at the end of the day, Last of Us 3 ain't happening, but you can buy a controller if you want to commemorate the IP. The last.
Will the controller be worth anything once it's all said and done? I don't think so.
No.
I don't
and all
think
of you
so.
who bought a Concord controller because you thought it might be worth something,
no,
it's not happening. It's not happening. All right.
How's your 30th anniversary looking, Hargeet?
Any bites?
Not really, but it's the number of available ones is going down enough that it might get closer. There's still quite a few ahead of it, but but yeah, no.
All right.
It's still there.
Let's keep us good. Let's keep us a little. We'll see when it pops.